Hi everybody, Gary here. And for this Module 13 user experience analysis, I'm going to look at the New York Times website, www.nyt.com. I use this website to scan for breaking headlines if I take an internet break during the workday. I also access this site at lunchtime when I have the opportunity to read some long-form articles. The homepage is set up in such a way that top headlines and op-ed pieces are at the top of the page, above the fold, which is the amount of screen that one sees before having to scroll. It's interesting to note that opinion pieces are at the same level as big headline news, indicating that opinion pieces are actually some of the most popular content on the site. And that's often backed up by the most frequently emailed article list, which appears further down the page, which would be, it's here somewhere. There it is, most emailed. Okay, regarding how I like the overall design of the site, owing to its famous and historic origins as one of the country's premier newspapers, this site is very much in the thrall of its own past. It looks like a modern incarnation of a newspaper. Aside from photographs, colors are, well, photographs and ads. Colors are almost non-existent. Everything is black and white, just as the paper was for most of its history. I don't know for certain, but I suspect that this is a very conscious decision by the site's designers to build on the paper's reputation and not leave it behind simply for the sake of looking modern. One of the challenges that the Times website has is organizing the vast quantity of content that it has to offer on any given day. Let me just go back here for a second. If we scroll down farther, past the main stories of the day that would have appeared in today's physical newspaper, we start to get into video library and archive over here, and further down inside NewYorkTimes.com, more stuff in each one of these smaller boxes, which now we have 6 sub boxes going across, and there are scrolls in a carousel to reveal more content. And then we get into really small stuff where each of the main sections has about 3 headlines in it. So this is you can see this is an awfully lot of content to pack into a small, relatively small space. And then we get down to the mega footer, which is yet another series of menu options to look at. Regarding navigation, the main sections corresponding to the physical sections inside in a newspaper are written out across the top of the page. This is a conventional menu layout which makes it easy to find and understand, even for a casual user who might come in having never seen the website before. There's also a more complete section listing hidden behind a hamburger in the upper left corner, which I think is unfortunately off the screen for this screencast. But trust me, it's there. When the user goes to an individual article, let's pick one here. Let's pick one of these horrible articles about Donald Trump. When we go to an individual article page, the sections navigation moves to a hamburger only, again, which is off the, it's up here in the corner. It's off the screencast area. When the user goes to an individual article, the sections navigation is that hamburger only. The horizontal global navigation that we saw on the home page is removed, and individual articles are run across the top of the page in this carousel here, which can be scrolled left or right. There's actually a disappearing set of arrows which appear when you hover over them. This breaks a bit with the convention of keeping the global navigation completely consistent from page to page, but I don't find this to be particularly bothersome. Something that I do find irritating is the experience of using this website on a small device like my iPhone. Let me just simulate that here. It would look something like this, although not exactly, because this is a mobilized version of the site, not exactly what you'd see in the New York Times app, which is what I typically read. The problem that I have with this incarnation or this use case is that I frequently end up hitting embedded links in the articles themselves by accident, simply because the screen is so small and my fingers are relatively large by comparison. So I end up clicking on a lot of ads that I never, or not ads, but other articles that I never intended to go to. As for usability, the main navigation is clear and my search returns pretty relevant results. Let's just take a look at search for a moment. We'll go to search here and we'll just put anything in. I'll just put the word test. And here are a bunch of articles which feature the word test. If I don't find what I'm looking for, there are many refiners that can be added to produce better results. This is impressive considering that searches can be performed across content stretching back to the end of the 19th century. One of the things that the Times handles differently than many other news websites is the comments section. Let's go find some. The user has to look for a speech bubble icon, which indicates how many comments have been recorded for an article. Generally, that icon appears at the bottom on a desktop application. And when that icon is clicked, a vertical panel slides out on the right. There it is. Rather than appearing at the bottom of the article, which is what the standard convention is in desktop website design. I like that this user interface choice, I like it as it elevates the importance of the comments section, which is moderated in order to promote content quality. I like the fact that they segregate comments according to those that readers liked versus those that the Times editors liked. I also like the fact that they show reader likes on comments in a similar way to how social media sites handle reader feedback, such as here. Finding content isn't all that challenging, but again, the issue is the sheer volume of content that the site has to share. For instance, I question the size and length of the homepage. There's so much content stuffed into that page in smaller and smaller font sizes as one scrolls farther down that I really wonder who really goes through those areas. I suspect that the click rate on content at the bottom of the page is fairly low. This is one way that the joy of slowly perusing a physical multi-section newspaper, which encourages chance discoveries of content, does not translate well into an electronic form. One of my long-standing beefs with the Times website is that it's not particularly simple to find the customer care section. When I go away for a few days and I need to suspend my weekend paper delivery, I always have a tough time finding the page where I can register the suspension. I actually need to use my browser's built-in Find in a Page feature to locate it. It used to be called Customer Care, and I would type that in, but now it's called Manage My Account, and that's buried way down here. That really needs to be improved, so it's easier for me to find that more quickly. I know from reading the design blogs of people like Khoi Vinh, who worked as the design director for the New York Times from 2006 until 2010, that user experience was considered in a very deliberate fashion when this website was put together. While there's not a lot of visual flash to the site, this actually increases its ease of use by making the site's most important offering, its text, the star of the show.